Ghana constitution that we have today. Many people in Ghana are calling for constitutional amendment. Of course, we all agree that some portions in the constitution need to be amended. But what we forget to know is not largely about the constitution in itself. It's largely about the citizens. Our leaders have failed us, and then the citizens have failed ourselves. And that's the biggest problem that we have in Ghana, but not the constitution. If you look at what is going on, and people are calling, let's amend the constitution, let's do this. If you look at those people, you'll get to realize that majority of them are members of New Patriotic Party. But when Ghanaians were called to sit down together and write the constitution, they say no, because they look at themselves today that people that compiled the document called Constitution for Ghana are the people that they, according to them, they are more better than them. That's why they are fighting the Constitution of Ghana today. It's not about the Constitution has a problem, but it's about they themselves and their parochial interests, what they think it is good, and they interpret it the way they want, and not how it is actually mean. So how can you govern a nation in this? Ghana has a fine constitution that if each and everyone is to follow the constitution, Ghana will be a better place to live. NPP people see themselves to be like they are better than any other person in Ghana. And so when the constitution was compiled in their absence, they now felt that no, it is good for them to also be heard in the constitution. And so they are doing every possible means to criticize the constitution, to condemn the constitution, and to come out with something that you think is better. And so we amend and bring their views on it. And that's going to be a biggest problem for Ghana if indeed we completely change by what NPP as a political party or individuals are thinking. It's going to be a mess. And probably that may lead to the losing of this fourth republic. Don't forget, this is the longest serving constitution in Ghana. And that constitution has protected our democracy. That constitution has created the peaceful environment that we have in Ghana. And that constitution has made Ghana democracy to become a beacon of Africa. So how do you then turn around to blame that constitution? So if you hear anybody crying all out that the constitution has a problem, no, but because he is an MPP person and he wants his voice to be heard or her voice to be heard in that constitution. So we should be mindful of how we go by the call for this constitutional amendment. How will you convince me that what has happened yesterday is wrong today? The articles in your party constitution that you enforced yesterday, 2020 election, that you enforced to take a member of parliament out, you have not amended that article in your constitution, your party constitution. You have not changed that article, still enforced. And that same article in clause that you enforce by taking some people out of your party, Hussein Adoye, Yabobia Samoa, Boniface Abubakar Sadiq, Nana Okiwinto, and many others, you stood on that article, enforces, and took them away from your party. How do you then tell me that today it has catch up with you and you say the constitution has a problem? How? So this is the time that the leadership need to sit down. Leadership need to apply the rules. But as long as we fail to go into that direction, we have no right to blame the constitution. We blame ourselves. Let's blame ourselves as citizens. Let's blame ourselves as leaders. Let's blame ourselves as a nation, but not the constitution. The constitution is there to protect and guide everyone to behave. Mind you, the constitution has been with us from 1992. It's this same constitution that has stabilized Ghana democracy. Ghana has become a peaceful nation, a stable nation in Africa. Nobody says the constitution should not be amended. Nobody says the constitution is perfect. It's the people that control the constitution. The constitution on itself will not be operate without the directions of the people. So the problem that we have today is our leaders failing the citizens, and then the citizens failing ourselves. And therefore we put the blame into the constitution, but it's not the problem of the constitution. The problem is the leadership. The constitution has spelled out you are appointed or you are an appointee, how you conduct yourself in your office. You fail to go by the constitution and you use your own interest and your own meaning to govern that office, then you tend to blame the constitution. No. What is happening in our institution today is not because the constitution has a problem. What is happening in judicial service or Supreme Court is not because the constitution has a problem. Or what is happening in electoral commission is not because the constitution has a problem. Or what is even going on in parliament today is not because the constitution has a problem. It is because the peoples and individuals in that institutions are the problems. And they are fighting the constitution because the constitution catch up with them. Sometimes we begin to believe that some people are acting in their own interests, but not the interests of the nation. When Ghanaians were mobilizing themselves to come together and put down a document to govern the nations, where were the NPP members? So today, if they are calling for the amendment of the constitution, it's not largely that the constitution has a problem, but it is because they wanted to put their own feeling into the constitution. When you talk of the problem of Ghana, it's not about the constitution, it is about NPP as a political party. They feel as they have what it takes to make what should be. Look at what is happening in parliament. The constitution has said ABC, of which your own political party, constitution and articles has spelled the whole thing out, but you say no, because it does not favor you. So in that case, how do you blame the constitution? You blame the people. The problem is the leaders. The problem is we, the people. And no wonder today, that's a constitution, they have problem with it. The constitution that governs you in your party, you don't have a position. The articles or the clauses in your own constitution that you enforce ahead of 2020 general election in parliament, today you say no. The same clauses that you enforce to some members of your party, Hussein Adoye, Abubakar Sadiq, Boniface, Yabobi Asamoah, and then now we're going to apply that constitution. So if all these things are going around, then you tell yourself to blame the constitution. The constitution says ABC, and we all have seen it clearly, plain language, and it has applied, then you say no. Who is now the problem? Is it you who has a problem, or is the constitution that has a problem? In this case, lack of the leadership, then you tend to ask yourself, what is the difference between Akufo-Addo and Ekwe-Adonkor? What we do know is that you go to school to acquire knowledge and increase your wisdom, to impact life in the society. So today you ask yourself, what is the difference between Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic, and Ekwe-Adonkor? For Ekwe-Adonkor, we see that yes, she didn't go to school. She has no knowledge in education. What of Akufo-Addo, who say he's a lawyer? For God's sake, human rights lawyer. But when you're lawyer, Akufo-Addo is a lawyer. And he said he's a lawyer. Fine, so let's say you are a lawyer for that sake. Look at how the leadership constitutional mess that is going around. So problem yes, be a constitution problem. The problem your leaders and Timophone in your problem. Ghanaians, we want the best by voting for Akufo-Addo to lead the nation. And we end up getting the best by the Akufo-Addo.